Nithyananda. The next segment is going to be about the revelations to the world by Devi Parashakti. On 12th of May 2021, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, manifested as the Devi Parashakti, the cosmic feminine divine consciousness, revealed that I came as the Nijavatara. I am blessing you, listen. People, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nithyananda and came down as the Nijavatara. People of India, listen. Carefully listen. Time after time, Bharadam is the Jnana Bhumi where enlightened beings come. We cannot make the Jnana Bhumi infertile. Enlightened beings have to come. They have to live, it has to flower. Few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save the cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect the beings from Pralaya is Adi Kailasa because of the conspiracy of Drohis and enemies rule. The captain has to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all the Aushadas, by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navabhashana is going to flower, allow the people to come and take the dip in Navabhashana flower. People, whoever comes and dips in Vaidya Sarovar, they will not have death. They will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line every day. They will come and dip in Ananda Lingam. Listen well to my words. For India, I made the ship as protection. The Nithyananda Navabhashana Lingam in Vaidya Sarovar. Go to Adi Kailasa. Oh Indians, listen. All those regretting losing the Nithyananda Nijavatara without confusion and without talking just as the lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. Crores of people will come there looking for health, Navabhashana water feast and medicine to get Navabhashana water feast and medicine to get the health and protection and enlightenment. To protect India from great destruction, I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if the captain of the ship is not there, ship is there. When the first world countries closed their borders during this massive global emergency, Kailasa has opened its door to one and all without exception. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened his home, even if the captain of the ship is not there, because of the ongoing persecution by the anti-Hindu elements. Despite that, it is the grace and compassion of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to open his home unconditionally to one and all to protect themselves from ongoing COVID. So, Devi Parashakti has revealed about the Kshetra, the importance, the significance of the Punya Kshetra, the Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Sarvangi Pitam, where the Navabhashana Lingam is prepared, foreseen by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism 12 years before. And this Navabhashana Lingam, 21 feet Nithyananda Navabhashana Lingam, is going to heal the people affected by COVID. So now let's see a short segment on the making of this Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Sarvangi Pitam, how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism made it one by one step at a time, brick by brick, the hard work involved in making of this Sarvangi Pitam. Sure. Aya from Kanchipuram, who's one of the COVID Care Protection Center participants from the COVID Care Protection Center in Adi Kailasa. So we welcome you, Aya. Nithyananda Aya.
Nithyananda.
Yes. So would you like to introduce yourself and share with us what made you to be part of this COVID Care Protection Center, and how was your experience last? I think it's about a month since you've joined. So how was your experience so far?
That is basically I'm my name is Sri Ananda Harlina. I am from Kanchipuram.
Video is not enabled. Yes, now we can see.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I am Sri Ananda Harlina. I am from Kanchipuram. So we are running our own business there. So actually, due to the COVID pandemic, I have lost my father-in-law. So that that is what we felt is we don't feel any protection there in our in our state. And for that only we came, since Bhagwan gave this opportunity for us for a multi-layer quarantine, so that we thought of saving our life, we came here. But initially it was very good. Actually, the systems, that is the basic system of protection for COVID care was very awesome. That is the initial pre-quarantine. They have kept us in a quarantine thing. Then after the quarantine finished, they have moved us to a separate thing that we came as a family. Now we are living as a family. Now we are very much happy here. The main thing what I want to say is, apart from protecting our life for the sake of protection, more than that, what words can I say? We are in a place of a spiritual incubator. That is, we feel much more. That is, whatever process, whatever spiritual practice which we do in our own place, in our home, the effect which we get compared with that one, it is multiple times. It is higher here. So when we do a meditation there in our home, the kind of samadhi experience or some kind of meditative state experience, what we get there and what we get here is entirely different. So the entire thought, they say thought per second, not TPS. The entire TPS itself very much less here. We are living really very happy here. That is our intellectual level, thinking ability, everything has improved here. So we are living very happily. What else to say? We have good sattvic food, good nice environment. But what we don't get in our own place, that is only with nature, amalgamating with nature. We really enjoy this, man. I really thank Swamiji for giving us a good opportunity.
Great, Aya. That's nice to hear your initial experience in the COVID Care Protection Center in Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham. And wanted to ask you, post that COVID Care Protection quarantine period, like you said, the 15 days, after that, how has the experience of you been, and you mentioned the unfortunate loss of your father-in-law in this COVID-19 pandemic. how has your family been able to cope up with this in terms of your wife and your kid? How has the overall experience been, which you would attribute to the grace of Bhagwan in this energy field of Adi Kailash versus having to face this terrible happening in your life, in addition to the already insecure atmosphere, like you said, outside? If you had to continue outside, how would you contrast? I would to put it in simple words, so that our viewers can understand your perspective on what are all the things that Swamiji is gracing us with in terms of the COVID Care Protection Center. It's not just the physical security, as you said. It's a lot deeper than that, and a much deeper spiritual level also.
First, basically, initially regarding the COVID pandemic in our hometown, I also felt not that much serious. Why? Because in whatever we generally believe, whatever the media says, we take it as that is reality. So initially they used to say the COVID counts has come down, or only 100 people have died, or 400 people have died. Like that of information they used to share. By watching TV, I myself also didn't feel that seriousness. Why? Because it is okay. It is after all some kind of news, and there is some COVID is somewhere roaming around. So it won't touch us. Like that of confidence we had. So we were also very much casual, looking after our work, and everything was going on fine. So on a one fine day, when my father-in-law got attacked with this COVID, it really shaken us. So that on that time, I have tried to contact to admit him in an hospital. So we have been constantly searching for 2 to 3 days. We are even unable to get an bed with oxygen support. So on that time, it was all hospitals were completely full. That is in normal course, the news channels, they don't express whatever the situation which is happening. They don't actually say. So what they say is the count is less, we are managing it, everything is fine, we get oxygen support from North India, we get all facilities are there, like that of things they used to say. But as a common man, we used to generally listen to the news, and we get okay, everything is fine, everything is going on fine, like that we thought. So once my father-in-law got attacked with this COVID-19, we rushed to the hospitals to get a bed. Actually, he is also living in a city, not in a remote village or something like that. He is also living in a city. We tried in 3 cities, in Chennai, Vellore, and Kanchipuram. Everywhere we have tried to spot out a hospital with an oxygen support. But on all hospitals, when we contacted, no one has given a single room. They say that even though we are ready to pay whatever money they ask, we need to save his life. For that, we have asked them, but nobody have even given a room. They said that all beds are full. If you want, you wait with the ambulance outside. Then after 20 persons are waiting, after that waiting period only, we can allocate some bed if available, they said. But the patient condition is really suffering from breathing problem. He is in ambulance. First, basically, to get an ambulance with oxygen support itself was a very difficult task at that time. So we felt very much difficult in getting an ambulance first. So after getting that ambulance, we have rushed to the hospitals. There also we are unable to get a bed also. So we were really actually at that time only. That is what I felt is, even whatever money which we have in our hands won't save our life. That thing has shook me very, very much. But in generally, what is the general man will think? If we have money, we can go to a very good hospital, get a very nice treatment, and save our life. At that time, what we realized is, even I'm ready to pay whatever amount you ask, you please save him. But the entire hospital chain, that business, they haven't seen the individual as a living being. They said, we are full, sir, we can't support you. That is, you do whatever you want, like that. So even we have rushed even to a government hospital. actually we belong to a higher class, so higher upper middle class. So that first we tried all these kind of hospitals like Apollo, then CMC, like that kind of paid hospitals. So they refused. Okay, so let the facilities, even the facilities also, let it be less. So let us rush to a government hospital to get a good treatment. So what the government promises, na, they say that we give oxygen support, we give bed, everything they say. So even we have tried that helpline number and everything. So, but that is also not working fine. So then we rush to the hospital. There also, we actually the last time we don't get any bed. So we were just waiting in the hospital itself. The hospital also, they haven't admitted us. He passed away in the ambulance in front of the hospital itself. They haven't even taken him inside. That was a very pathetic situation for us. After feeling that, I feel very much insecure in the outer thing. So when we get also, when the same COVID comes for us, so there is no, even the money can't even support. So only the God's intervention is needed. So that we came to the Fita Swamiji, and he has given a very good accommodation for us and very good protection and everything. As a family, we are very much happy here. Then after my father-in-law expired, my wife got a big depression. She was unable to handle that shock. She was in a very high depression. So that she was feeling very much. So that here, after coming here, previously there we were unable to even handle her. She was very much unable to bear that shock. Why? Because he is not a very aged person whom we expect some kind of this kind of mishaps. We really had a very tough days there. So after coming here, the environment here, the Kalabhairava and Swamiji, everything, they have made us. That is made. He has took out us out of depression, and now we are really very happy living here.
Wonderful, Aya. I think that explains many things what you shared, especially like coming from an upper middle class family and facing such a challenge. Like exactly like you said, I'm sure most people out there are thinking, I have the money needed, and if at all I have to face the eventuality of me contracting COVID or my family members contracting COVID, I can get, with money, I can get at least a good medical care. And it is, it's really, I'm sure how it landed as a shock for you that you're not able to provide, and you're looking to a government hospital, which otherwise in India, most people would look down to in terms of the medical services that they provide and the care that they provide. So this is really what is the hard reality out there. And as Bhagwan, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has kept on repeating for almost a year and a half now, reminding us that it is not as we imagine, it is not something that is frivolous, it is not something which can be handled either with frustration and giving up on life and saying, okay, I don't care, I'm going to go out. And like Bhagwan told in the satsang, the last satsang, going out for a whiff of fresh air, and the breath itself goes away along with that. So it is really something which, when one hears from another person who has gone through this trauma, it seems a lot more believable, I guess, and something that is that one can conceive as it can happen to me also. Exactly like you said, all of us otherwise feel, yeah, it's something out there, but I'm not going to die with it, or I'm not going to get impacted by it. So that, and then, like you said, the spiritual support provided by the enlightenment spiritual ecosystem in Adi Kailasa Sarvajñapitham, where your wife was able to come out of the trauma because of the whole energy field existing over here. And I think also the power of the sheer community living, because where else can you have not only a joint family, but an ideological family where all of us are connected to Bhagwan and his love, compassion, and grace encompassing all of us, protecting us and taking us to the next level. I'm sure no other community can boast of thinking of a superconscious breakthrough in the time of such a pralaya, where all people can think of is either how to protect my life or how do I get rid of this anxiety or this depression. It seems to be never ending because this pandemic seems to be never ending. So, very, very insightful sharing for all our viewers, I would say, because it teaches a lot in terms of what life is about, what life is having as possibilities, what life is having as risks and warnings, which one should listen to, especially when the Guru warns us, and just following the Guru Vak. And as you and your family have done the right thing of following the Guru Vak of just rush to Adi Kailash and save yourself in the multi-layer quarantine facility. And
Ashwasami, just wanted to also mention, like what I had mentioned, right? Like his wife, Shalini Ma, when she came, she had lots of fear and she was really not able to handle herself. Like even to have one conversation, she used to cry a lot because that shock was so huge. But now it is like totally different personality. Like she's engaging with everybody. She's doing seva. She's joking around. As a third person, for me to see the amount of transformation that she has gone through in such a short amount of time is quite drastic. I just wanted to add that, like what you were saying, it reminded me of the initial days when she was, took so much of time for her to even experience the separation from you in the quarantine time, right? So from that stage to us recently having this conversation of your son being part of Gurukul and all that, the transformation was so huge, like whatever I saw from Shalini, my wife. So I just wanted to add that also. And would you like to share how is your son enjoying the place and what are the changes that you're seeing in him?
That is in our city we don't generally leave my son outside the house. We generally used to, our basic habit is not to keep our kid roaming around the streets, because since it is a city, it is not possible for us to let him out to roam around in the streets or something like that, to go here and there. So always he will be pampered with us, and we will take him out and we will bring him in, like that kind of lifestyle only we were having. But here it is since we feel it is 100% secure, we have left him out. He is simply roaming around. He is just casually walking, running here and there, playing with the kids and everything. It's entirely a different lifestyle and different ecosystem itself. So both the kids are enjoying a lot, enjoying very much with the nature. Basically, there we used to live in a concrete village. In city, what I feel is we used to live in a concrete village. Only buildings only will be there. So no fresh air. Everything should be with a fan, with an electric support only. Entire environment. But here it is 100% nature oriented. Even the breeze, even the grasses, even the all the environment. That is my kids learned more things here regarding environment. How do a caterpillar look like? How do a butterfly will be there? They used to see it in TV. How do a butterfly look like? But they need to physically see now. So that itself, it was a very nice experience, and they also had a very nice time. They are also enjoying. Now they refuse to come to bed to sleep or something like that, to take a small nap also. They want to play 100%. So we really enjoying this. That is, we feel that we are literally within nature. There is no any, that is something that is now only we are feeling that as an proper human being, live within nature. We are really very happy, ma.
Wonderful, and he's also attending the online Gurukul classes, right? Like, the e-Gurukul classes.
Yes.
What are the changes that you're seeing in him after attending these classes?
That is here when I see that the ecosystem itself, there is some difference. I am unable to exactly figure it out why it is there, but I am able to literally see there is a huge difference in the intellectual thinking level of the kids itself. Generally, in our city, in our home, you used to get some kind of irritation or something like that. He used to get anger frequently when we asked him to do this and do that. It is common there in our place. But when he came here, he is a different being itself. He is not affected by any anger. So he is able to handle himself. So he is very much calm, patient. He is very much polite to us. He used to do whatever things which we say. So he's very obedient also. So he is also very playful. So entire environment is very, very much, the ecosystem is doing something. So which I can't express the words. Even their intellectual thinking is also, my younger one is around 2 years old. In our house, he was not unable to move with more people. But here, he is very much free to move with more people. He is able to talk. His talking ability has improved. He is literally, that is, we can say, previously when he was two years old, but when he comes to here, we can get this, his intellectual developed around 5 years plus. So he is behaving like a 7-year-old boy. He is that much matured. That maturity is very much good. So we really enjoy that thing. So my elder one is also doing the Gurukul class with his own interest. That is, we don't push him to go to class or something like that. So he himself is very much interested in doing yoga and doing puja and attending all these kind of classes. And he is also enjoying a very nice lifestyle here. We really like this lifestyle.
Fantastic, Aya. That was a wonderful sharing. And thank you so much for coming to the show today to open your heart and share what are the different aspects. You brought out very different aspects to the show today, whether it is in terms of how the governments are failing and what is the situation outside as a reality, and how the ecosystem can bring holistic experience, whether it is in terms of spiritually supporting somebody who is in depression, or ensuring blissful relationships and the kids evolving themselves to spiritual sovereignty that Swamiji is talking about in satsang. So thank you so much for bringing out a lot of beautiful elements to the show today. We really enjoyed your presence and your sharing. Thank you so much, Aya. And with no further delay, we'll go to the next segment. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining the show today. And stay tuned. We're going to have the next segment starting shortly.
Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you, aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you, aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life, we can help you with everything. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. I tell you, each BHAVASAMADHI darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a BHAVASAMADHI darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. I tell you, each BHAVASAMADHI darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home. wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. I am as old as sun, as new as sunrise. Various incarnations happened, gave a breakthrough to consciousness and gave opening to the next level. My responsibility is to introduce new consciousness which manifests powers of Sadashiva. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. I have experienced Sadashiva in his completion, and he has empowered me to transmit that experience to all of you. It's my commitment to all of you. I'll make you experience and manifest Sadashivatva, powers and state and space of Sadashiva.
When you manifest powers, naturally the state of Sadashiva and space of Sadashiva starts manifesting in you. More power manifestation, more integrity, more unclutching, more nirvikalpa samadhi, more joy.
Nithyanandam, welcome back to all of the viewers who are joining us. I know each and every one of us are eagerly awaiting the Nithyananda Satsang, where we'll be in the divine, enlightening audience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And each and every one of us will have the blessings and grace to be able to imbibe the powerful cognitions as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism further reveals the divine truths about cosmic and conscious sovereignty. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the last few days has been revealing more and more in depth about the conscious sovereignty, the physics of conscious sovereignty, the biology of conscious sovereignty, and the chemistry of conscious sovereignty. What is it? How do we have it in our lives? Such a extremely profound subject from Sanatana Hindu Dharma that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving for us and delivering to each and every one of us. I know many of you are joining on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, and all the different social media platforms, and are joining us today and eagerly awaiting the Nithyananda Satsang, the live Nithyananda Satsang that will be happening shortly. And each and every one of you, I would like to request all the viewers who are joining with us and awaiting the divine, awaiting to be in the divine audience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, please take a few minutes right now, and you can ensure that you are, first of all, liking and subscribing, following to all the main official channels of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Kailasa. And you can also make sure now that you are ensuring that you are sharing all of the different programs and the different links that are put and shared on the Kailasa's official Facebook page. Now, if you are already following, you can go ahead and see the links of the page, and you can see the links of all of the different Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube on the in the scroll below. And please go ahead and like and subscribe for all of the official channels. And this gives you all of the events, the 24/7 celebrations that happen from Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya and Kailasas across the world. It's such a beautiful space that you can join in and join in on the eternal celebration that is ongoing in Kailasa. And I invite each and every one of you also on Kailasa's SPH Nithyananda Facebook page, the official Facebook page of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, also is a pinned post for the United Nations recognizing the persecution ongoing against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And after the immense hard work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as the leader of the global Hindu diaspora and the recognized and acclaimed leader of 2 billion Hindus all over the world, has, out of his hard work, sincerity, had brought the Hindu Holocaust and the stories of so many millions of Hindus who lost their lives in this 1,000-year cultural genocide that has been ongoing, has finally brought that to an international audience. and given each and every one of us Hindus a platform to voice our stories, a platform to understand and to finally seek justice for what is going on, for what is happening in the world, and against Hindus, and especially against Kailasians, and what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has undergone in order to revive Kailasa, in order for each and every one of us to enjoy the Hindu nation, the ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. So on Facebook, we have the pinned post where you can share with the hashtag UN recognizes the SPH persecution, and also you can share with the hashtag against Hindu persecution, and you will be able to ensure that you reclaim your Hindu identity just by sharing. Now, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has already given us this platform through his hard work and dedication to ensure that Hindus and the Holocaust that is ongoing is recognized, is shown and told to the world, and for each and every one of us to seek justice for the crimes done against humanity in the Hindu Holocaust, the Hindu genocide. And now it's become as easy as voicing out, and sharing what we have gone through and what Hindus have gone through over the last 500 to 1,000 years. Over the last couple of days, we have been continuously speaking to, we've been literally every single day sharing with all of the viewers about how the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was exactly systematically strategized, and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had what he had undergone literally in order to revive Kailasa for each and every one of us. And for millions of us Kailasians across the world, in 2010 and the following years, as we saw the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we witnessed him having to undergo so much of torture and near fatal assassination attempts at the hands of the anti-Hindu militant terrorist forces. It has been absolutely devastating for us to see what all he has sacrificed for us to live the life, a Hindu lifestyle, to live the life that we want and regain a powerful lifestyle based on the sacred Hindu sentiment and the great lineages, the sampradayas that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving. Now, now in the last segment of this series on the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as we are presenting what has happened to the world and what in return the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived, even though he has been through so much. We understood, we are going through the various persecutions that are ongoing against the women of Kailasa and the women of Hinduism, the Hindu women. Now, from the massacre of the Rudrakanya Sampradaya to making it illegal for Rudrakanyas to even dance and even be associated in any way or form to the temples, an act which was implemented by the British regime in India. And until today, where so many millions of Hindu women are continuously raped, brutally assaulted by the anti-Hindu militant forces and enslaved and used against and as pawns against the attack against Hinduism. And we have seen rape and sexual assault and gender-based violence being used as a weapon for cultural genocide, whether it is the acts of love jihad, which have happened which are extremely prevalent, even though the anti-Hindu militant forces have done so much to try to deny that this has happened. And they try to deny the genocide against Hindus that they're doing. Continuously, the gender-based violence is used as a weapon against culture. And how they do it is extremely systematic in so many extremely cunning ways, intelligent, thought-through ways that make the anti-Hindu terrorist forces successfully subjugate and oppress the entire Hindu civilization. If we see, for example, the step-by-step ways that the media mafia had demonized the Hindu sannyasis over the course of the last century itself. And we see the number of assassination attempts against Hindus, and even if we just see against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we can see very clearly the amount of attack that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone for simply the sake of reviving Hinduism, for reviving the nation of Kailasa. And we have seen in the Hindu Holocaust how 5,000 sannyasis were killed, but it was underreported in the media as just 375 deaths. And in other instances, we saw how, for example, the Ananda Marg killings that happened, where the sannyasis from Ananda Marg, 16 male sannyasis and 1 female sannyasi from Ananda Marg, were dragged out of their car and burned alive in broad daylight. And this happened completely out of the hatred and oppression of the anti-Hindu militant forces, and them continuously trying to entirely eliminate, entirely exterminate the Hindu population. And we are seeing that happen across the world, whether it is in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Bangladesh, in Malaysia, in all these countries. Let's take a look at the actual Hindu population, the population of Hindus who are there now today, and how much it is dwindling, how it is reducing every single day. And ever since the partition of India, when even a Hindu nation wasn't made, but other states had the right to form their own religious nations, the Hindus were put out onto the street and made to flee overnight because of the amount of violence that was done against them, was executed against them, to immediately flee and relocate their homes in just one night. We saw how many millions of Hindus were jam-packed in the trains, how many were left out of home. And this is happening until today. Until today, Hindus in Bangladesh are continuously displaced and not able to even find a home for themselves. And even after coming to India, even if they find and seek refuge in India, there is still no refuge that they find to ensure that they are safe and that they can practice their Hindu lifestyle. Despite all of the attacks that are done against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is today even opening up Kailasas around India to protect anyone who needs it. And even after all of the world, they are closing the doors to Kailasa. They're closing the doors to Indians out of fear of the Indian variant or the variants of the coronavirus which are coming out of India, such as the Delta variant and other variants. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened up Kailasas around India for, as COVID protection and multi-layer quarantine protection centers. Now, the United Nations has recognized the different strategies used by different terrorist groups, how they use the media, use absolutely unethical journalism in order to perpetuate their own crimes and oppression against a certain culture. The United Nations has recognized how different forms of and different tactics are used against cultures in order to make sure, in order to see that in order to entirely oppress and silence a certain population. Now, the United Nations today is being seen and recognized for its international intervention in so many different genocides. But this started in 1945 when the whole world was shocked to see the amount of atrocity that happened under the Nazi regime in Germany. And we had seen how literally so many deaths had happened and such brutal killings had happened against an entire population. And this was the systematic killing of 6 million Jews. The whole world was shocked to find out for the first time what had happened and how this was going on for more than 5 years without them knowing, without any single act or without any single person knowing about what had happened. The allies at this time, who were allies of the Jewish people, including the United Kingdom, the United States, everyone had come together and actually formed the United Nations in order to ensure that these kinds of crimes against humanity do not happen again. This is the proud beginning of the This is the beginning of the United Nations. And why I'm telling this brief history is because as they began to see the entire world and how different genocides were happening, how entire communities, entire civilizations were entirely silenced, suppressed, and killed by terrorist forces, they understood that there was a systematic way of them doing so. And not only that, we have seen how, because people came together and understood that this was not the way to live, and collectively they had seen how they must raise the standard of living across the world and bring more and more good across the world to raise the standard of living. And because people did not deserve to be under threat of such crimes against their basic human rights. And this was in fact the birth of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. And why this is important ultimately is because the Declaration of Human Rights up until the 2000 had worked in order to bring more education to the world, bring gender equality, bring more awareness about the global warming and the status of the earth and the health of the earth, and bring more awareness on global healthcare, and collectively see to it that the world raises its standards and continues to raise its standards of living. And in fact, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, having recognized the immense amount of work the United Nations has done for improving the standard of living across the world by bringing more education to people and ensuring that there's human dignity and peace as a basic right for so many millions of people across the world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations, continuously is working towards global initiatives to continue raising the quality of life of human beings, not just up until the level of education and basic human rights, but also for each and every one to understand the sacred lifestyle, and for each and every one to realize their infinite potential. Sanatana Hindu Dharma recognizes each and every single living being for their infinite potential and their infinite consciousness, the power of their consciousness. And this is the standard of living that each and every being is given as a basic right in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And through the global initiatives of Kailasa and Sri Kailasa United Nations, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working towards raising the quality of life of human beings all over the world by bringing superconscious breakthrough to the whole world. This is his highest ambition for every single being in humanity. But just for this, for promising humankind of their infinite potential and raising them in every single way, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone immense amount of attack. In this next segment, as we are eagerly awaiting the divine presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we'll just be understanding what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone in order to revive Kailasa for each and every one of us. We'll be right back with you to continue this segment after a very quick break.
I tell you, each BHAVASAMADHI darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a BHAVASAMADHI darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. I tell you, each BHAVASAMADHI darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a BHAVASAMADHI darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. I tell you, each BHAVASAMADHI darshan is a spiritual treat, enjoy. Spiritual feast, enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a BHAVASAMADHI darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings, the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. I tell you, each BHAVASAMADHI darshan is a spiritual. If you start serving others, easily you will get out of many obsessive, compulsive, reactionary patterns and suffocations, because obsessive, compulsory, reactionary patterns are always centered on selfishness, arrogance, violence. If you start serving others, everything will become all right. All over the world, I want the Rathotsava to happen. From Guru Purnima to Navaratri. I want all Annalayas to be open to people. Give free food with a free library. Food for stomach and food for consciousness. Both. One book, my Bhagavad Gita, will be gift.
Yes.
Go from house to house, door to door. Collect whatever people can contribute. One handful of rice, $1, or any small 1 kg vegetable, anything people give. It's one of the best spiritual practice. Madhugari Bhiksha. If you guys start doing this, everything, all the best things will be showered on you guys, and Paramashiva more and more will manifest in temple also.
Yes. Let us begin by understanding the mission, vision, and the work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, where we have literally seen how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism single-handedly revived the beautiful ancient Hindu civilizational nation. Nithyananda Sacred Arts is established to preserve, revive, and spread the Vedic temple arts, architecture, and artifacts for people to live and experience the rich, conscious-based Vedic heritage. The temple-based arts and architecture is a science based on the perfect framework of cosmic laws, sacred arts geometry, proportion and symmetry, sophisticated mathematical principles, and cardinal directions. Amazing things that people are today still not understanding. This science is grounded on sacred truth that a temple is a miniature of the cosmos, comprising the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and its presiding deity, the worshipful God form. Every aspect of temple and temple rituals and temple arts, from the size, the shape, the material, structure, density, and the size of the halls, the pillars, the portiques, the facing directions, to the process of installing a deity and the arts form used, all these are revealed in the Veda Agamas. The source scriptures such as the Stapatya Veda or the Vastu Shastra or the Shilpa Shastra all these are source scriptures for each and every one of these great sciences. And here we have the Shastra Pramana about the Shilpa Shastra. So Shilpastri, works of art, are imitating the divine forms by knowing the artisans metrically interpret the laws of knowledge and the sacred hymns from the we're going now. So this is the Shastra Pramana for the Shilpa Shastra, for the sacred arts of Hinduism. Sorry, there appears to be a technical glitch in the slides. Can we just have, if the NTV volunteer can just stop sharing and then re-project the slides? Sorry to all the viewers for that technical difficulty. Now, as we are awaiting, we are just minutes away, and we are eagerly awaiting the darshan of Paramashiva, the live Nithyananda Satsang, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will be gracing us with his divine presence, and each and every one of us will be able to imbibe the powerful cognitions as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is continuing to reveal the divine truths on conscious sovereignty. Yeah. So here we have the Shastra Pramana from the Rig Veda, Aitareya Brahmana. This is chapter 6, line 5, verse 27. And here it's the English translation says, Shilpani, the works of art of man, is the imitation of divine forms. By employing their rhythms, the artisans metrically reconstitute and interpret the limitless knowledge of the sacred hymns from the limits of human ability. An amazing verse that literally tells us about how the arts are done, how the arts are made. The next slide, please. Modern architecture has much to learn from ancient temple sciences. Several researches and studies have proven the indigenous perfection of the Vedic architecture. It has been scientifically proven that the characteristics, configuration, geometric configuration of the Hindu temple built the extraordinary perfection has significantly increased in the strength against earthquake movements, resulting in creation of everlasting structurally sound structures which are proven earthquake resistance. And the source is from the architectural heritage and seismic design with reference to Indian temple architecture. From the World Conference on Earthquakes Engineering. Yes, the next slide, please. Temples are living spaces where pure superconscious energy resides in infinite continuum, having its own independent intelligence beyond time and space. And the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, as it is spelt with a C as it is envisioned to be a city of its own, was founded by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Actually, it was started by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism well before he established began his mission, official mission to revive Kailasa when he was just barely 8 to 10 years old, as he himself was carving the deities, carving Sri Chakra, and learning from his gurus on how to carve deities and he would imbibe the science from his gurus in order to ultimately revive it for each and every one of us today. The temple arts and lifestyle for superconscious breakthrough means to procure, collect, traditionally make, preserve the temple arts and the temple traditions and cultural heritage. Another vision statement is to spread the temple arts and architecture in its highest form as a celebrative lifestyle of peace and bliss, as per authentic scriptures. And another vision statement is operate as a university of learning the science and applied technology of sacred arts and temple architecture. As well, to provide training, livelihood to Stapatis, a generation of temple architects to preserve the rare temple sciences. And creating a beautifully highly evolved humanity, a civilization of new species, following the rich Hindu Vedic lifestyle. And the Vedic Hindu civilization, both in its lifestyle, tradition, arts, and its architecture. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had envisioned the Pandyan Chettinad architecture for the construction of all the buildings and the Madurai architecture for all the temple construction. For all the Hindu gods and deities, vigrahas, idols for worship, and their vahanas, vehicles and chariots for procession, and just about everything that brings out all the grandeur and galore one can imagine, which is truly inherent to the fascinating Hindu tradition. Building a temple-based civilization is nothing less comparable to the best civilizations that ever existed. Some references here to kindle your imagination are what you can expect. For what you can expect are Dwaraka, the city created for Lord Krishna by Vishwakarma, and the Swarna Lanka created for Lord Shiva by Vishwakarma. Now, we have to understand, why were they renowned? Primarily because of their beauty and art and architecture that reflected from the beautiful, creative, artistic space and lifestyles these people were living. So here's the opportunity for you to bring out the reflection of your artistic, creative side and contribute to this magnificent civilization to be. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has guided every single aspect of temple and temple arts, from the size, the shape, the material structure, the size of the halls, pillars, courtyard, the facing directions, to the process of installing the deity, and the art forms used as per the Vedagamas, the source scriptures, such as the Stapatya Veda, or the Vastu Shastra, or the Shilpa Shastra. University is spelled as a C, as it is envisioned to be a city of its own, reviving and reinstating the glory and grandeur and richness of Hinduism across the world. Now, one of the main processes the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived, a part of the deity-making process, is the deification. In Hindu tradition, we have mastered the science of making body to live in zones of enlightened vertical time zones through the deification process. This is a direct quote from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now, there is a science of mummification by the Egyptians, which they used in the pyramids. But in the science of deification, it's not merely to preserve their bodies, but preserve and achieve immortality. And in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we had achieved that science and literally made it happen. And as you can see here, these are the different works of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We are very recently, the next slide, please. This offering from the Ministry of Sacred Arts is the deity of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is a very astounding 15 feet tall deity of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, blessing the world in the form of Paramashiva himself, and the tallest deity ever made by the Nithyananda Sacred Arts Ministry until today. Another beautifully crafted life-size deity of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is here, standing and blessing the world in his compassionate form with Abhaya Varadamurti, living enlightened master. With the grace of Paramashiva, this boon has extended to living in the breathing space of the divine even after you leave the body. Being deified is one of the best things one can do to guarantee their life to be in the same space as Paramashiva along with Paramashiva. I'm so happy that this beautiful endangered science of deification